how did you first discover the subculture of casuals?
So when I was about 13 or something, my brother, I've got an older brother, he's 2 years older. Um, Probably started getting into it. I think it's always been like I've always been aware of it because my dad definitely listens to the music and wears the clothes, but I
Yeah,
think it's not really ever been interested in like the subculture itself, like everything that's like attached to it.
yeah.
Um, I think he's been like quite anti it, but then my brother started, that was the one that got me into it about 13, 14. I always kind of like looked up to him anyway. So what he was like wearing and what going to the football with him and what he was listening to, I just kind of like, that's what really got me into it, I'd say.
Yeah, cool. Is the fashion linked with the culture something you resonate with within your fashion sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's shaped me up all through school. I was kind of like wearing that. I know like it wasn't a thing that really anybody else was wearing.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe you get the couple of boys, but definitely like not any girls. So I don't. Yeah, I think that's always influenced me. I've always been very like aware that that's the kind of style that I want, and that's what I like wearing, and it's stayed like a constant throughout the years. Like it's never since 16, 15, 16. It's like I've never thought, oh, I don't really into that anymore. I've outgrown it. Like I've always thought the style was great, and that was like my kind of style.
Yeah, it's different. It's different with the girls, isn't it? Because this is why I kind of wanted to do a women's perspective on it, because I know that there's quite a lot of girls out there that obviously resonate with the fashion and the music side of it, but obviously not the violent, like the football hooliganism side of it. So
Yeah,
yeah, so speaking of that, um, do you think like the women sort of gets frowned upon for getting involved with it? Do you think like it's not something they should be sort of wearing like the clothes, stuff like that?
I think from anybody inside the subculture, they think it's great and they love it, and I think they think it's quite novel. Like it's a bit, oh, the girls are wearing it well, you know.
Yeah,
I think they think it's quite a novelty, and I don't think that many of them frown upon it. But I think anybody who's not in the culture doesn't understand it, doesn't get it, doesn't resonate with it. Definitely is a bit like, what are you doing? I remember like boys would always say to me at school and stuff like, why the fuck are you dressing like that? You're
yeah,
dressing like you're dressing like you're in This Is England and stuff like
yeah.
that. Like definitely people that didn't get it get it. People that didn't get it didn't get it, and if you got it, you got it. I think.
Yeah, because like since I've been doing so much research on it and stuff, like
Mm.
it was so important to these people back in the day. Like everything they wore was like a uniform and stuff like that. And I feel like exactly what you're saying, like if you don't get it, then you won't get
Yeah,
it. You'll not see like the importance of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, because I mean, back in the days, it was used to like identify like with the fighting side of it. You go into a pub on an away day or whatever, and you see somebody in this literally like a uniform. Like you see these few brands, these few iconic brands. You see someone in them, like you know that like that's your target. That's who you're going to fight that day.
yeah, yeah.
If they're not from your club, so it's literally like a uniform.
Definitely, yeah. Um, so with women, do you agree that it is more the fashion side and the music side to it that is linked with the women mostly, not obviously the football hooligan side?
Yeah, I think so. I think from my own personal experience, you kind of do still get drawn into that side. Like I know, I don't know, when you like, especially when you're first going out, if you're starting out in this kind of subculture when you was like my age, when you was young and like quite naive and stuff, you look at it and you think like, oh, this is a bit cool. Like, yeah, all the boys are gonna meet up with these guys and they're gonna fight with these guys. And obviously, I never got into any like actual physical fights, but like things like I've been like kicked out of the stadium for like throwing tennis balls on the pitch and stuff. Like just stupid shit like that. When you're
Yeah,
young and you're stupid, like it appeals to you. So you think
yeah,
like, oh, all the lads doing it, all they're going for a fight later, all they're all taking tennis balls into the match, or they're all sneaking a bottle of wine into the ground, shit like that. That like could have, well, I was definitely around it. Like it could have, not like going out and smacking blokes, but like
yeah,
the appeal and like the bit of like rebel side of it definitely appeals to me when I was younger. not so much now. But it definitely was a bit like exciting, a bit of a thrill, I suppose.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think yeah, it is definitely a thrill. That's what a lot of people have said, like with research and just reading. And when I did an interview with Cass Pennant as well for this, he even said
Mm,
like it's just a massive addiction and like thrill to it and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting that you kind of like that thrill as well.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, tell me about the project, the collection thing that you sort of did, because that sounded really interesting.
Yeah, so I had to do for my FMP at college, not a uni.
Yeah,
I had to do a free outfit runway look, and like you obviously had to pick what you wanted to do it on, like pick the style and pick the music and everything. So yeah, I called mine Did You See the Stylish Kids in the Riot, and had them like walking the runway to that song. And I designed two women's wear looks and one men's wear look, which is very different because I think everyone else in my college did just women's wear, like dresses and stuff like that. And I was like very, I don't think even my tutors had really like seen anything like it before. Like they didn't really understand. Obviously, I did all the research like you're doing now into the casual culture, and all of that is in like books and stuff like research. But they hadn't really heard of it. They
yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah.
understand it, even though it's such like a massive part of fashion. So yeah, I did. I took a lot of inspiration from those kind of clothes. I made I made them like a windbreaker, and then I made it the women's version quite similar, but like cropped it and did like a matching skirt and stuff. So it was literally like I took these men's clothes that I'd been growing up wearing all my life, because they don't a lot of the brands, they don't make women's wear, they just make men's, and I just kind of took them and like made them feminine, and
Yeah.
see kind of played around with that and see how that looked. And I think, wow, I loved it. It's my favorite collection that I've done, probably, to be fair. I think it worked really well, and like complemented the menswear as well. And it was just nice to see like it could be done. And I actually wore like the top that I made on the collection out of a couple of times, and people have gone like, "Oh, where's that top from? It's really cool. Like, not seen anything like that before." I wore it to a specials gig, I remember, and the lead singer, I ended up meeting him at some point afterwards, and he was like, "That's a really cool top." I was like, "Yeah,
That's
sick."
it. That's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I love that. What was I gonna say? No, that sounds really interesting. I love that. You'll have to, have you got any pictures and stuff? Because I'd love to see that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send some over.
Oh, great, thank you. So yeah, as you said before, like with the like not many people actually know what it is. Like the casuals, they're so unaware of it. I've had the same sort of thing now where people are just like, I have
Mm.
no idea what that is. Why do you think that's the case?
I think it's coming from when it was in probably what is heights, like the 80s, early 90s, maybe. I think it got so frowned upon since then that people have kind of, anyone that was from that generation, that wasn't a part of it, just saw it as such a bad thing because the violence was so incredibly bad at that point,
Yeah,
that they've like shushed it, and they've frowned upon it for so long that well, I think it started to make. I remember seeing a few bits, like when the Stone Roses reformed in like 2016 or something. I remember seeing like a bit of a peak of it, but other than that, I think it just hasn't came back from. I don't think anyone can associate it still without thinking of the violence and all the bad stuff, which
yeah,
is a shame, because aside from that, it's such a cool style, and it's such a cool like subculture to be a part of, because it is like a community. Like, you go out to somewhere and you see someone wearing like a Weekend Offender or a Stone Island Dustbin, and you sort of automatically like, oh, you probably got something in common with me. Or
mm,
you go to a gig and you can identify what kind of people that loads of people that dress the same as you, and that you all listen to the same music because you're at the same gig. But yeah, I think many people don't know about it, like I said, because it's just been frowned upon um for generations now, really.
yeah, yeah. That's really interesting. But yeah, just with the because obviously I've had to look into some other subcultures as well, just to see what their kind of thing is and stuff. And obviously with this, like as you said, like when you see these people wearing Weekend Offender, Stone Island, like Sergio Ticini, stuff like that, you just kind of get that idea that they've even got the same music taste as you. Like you
Yeah,
just
definitely.
automatically know that, yeah, they probably love Stone Roses and stuff like that. Like, yeah, so it is. I've just never.
It's like a stereotype, but it's like 99% of 99% of the time it's true. But
Yeah,
it's obviously not like a negative stereotype. It's just like you can stereotype someone by you look at their outfit. You know, they're wearing a nice pair of three stripes and like you say, a nice Sergio jacket or something.
yeah,
Then you're gonna think like you're probably quite similar to me. You probably like the same kind of stuff as me. And 99% of the time, it's true. It's right.
yeah,
Bang on.
definitely. Yeah. So what is your favorite fashion brand that is linked with the casuals, would you say?
My favorite. That's that. This is one of the tricky ones. I've got
Yeah,
so many. I think I think if I had to go favorite, it would have to be Sergio Tacchini, to be fair, because they've just made so many iconic, like that. I think they're still one of the brands, like Stone Island and some of the other brands have become like not so much just this subculture, like other
yeah,
people are
yeah,
wearing it as well. Whereas I think Sergio has stayed so like true to its roots, and it's like it's been doing the same shit since it started out,
yeah,
making the same clothes, and people still love it. The same kind of people. It's not kind of like gone popular, like it's not gone very popular, and loads of people are just buying it because it's nice. Like it stayed. Like that is one brand that you can almost every time know like you're probably going to be in the same kind of subculture. So and I love their designs. I love their like colors and everything like that. I think it's great.
yeah, yeah. It is interesting because a lot of these like staple pieces in the casuals is like, as you said, is like other people that aren't part of the subculture are wearing, like Stone Island as well. And I feel like a lot of like the brown bottom three stripes and stuff like that, like they've made a
Yeah,
huge name for themselves now and everyone's wearing them. So yeah, I totally agree with the Sergio Tacchini thing. I think that's bang on.
yeah.
So what do you like most about the culture itself?
I think when I was like when I was like 15, I was just struggling to sort of fit in anywhere really because none of my friends like the same music as me. None of them dressed like me. And then I found like this whole host of people, based mostly online. When I was younger, like I could just meet so many people, girls, boys as well, like support all different football teams, all down the country. And like if you're wearing the same kind of stuff, you already had that in common, and you could just make friends. And I felt like
Like,
I've actually met people that understand me and get me, and I felt like I belonged to something for the first time in so long. Especially when you go to the football and you meet all the same people there, because
mhm.
you're all there for the same team. You all live probably in the same city, and you just look. It's just like such a good community feeling, like being part of something. And still to this day, like just going to gigs and stuff, it's still the same kind of thing. You just fit in people that are like you, and I think that's what attracted me in the first place. And then that's what's really like kept me all these years still living the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I love that. This is an interesting one that I've asked quite a lot of people as well. So do you think casuals still sort of exist today, or do you think like more of because this is just my perspective, but I feel like the hooliganism side for football is more online now than it is in person. I
Mm,
know that it does happen to a degree still in person, but I do feel like the hooliganism side is more online, especially like Twitter and stuff like that. What do you think?
yeah, I definitely think it is. I definitely think, you're nowhere near going to be getting the same amount of fights as you was in the 80s and 90s. Like, it's nowhere near the level of like sheer violence that used to happen. You watch any film about it, and you can just tell that kind of violence happened. I don't think that happens very commonly. I've personally got like a few friends that have been like banned or arrested for football violence, and so I am aware that it still goes on. But yeah, on the scale that it did when the casual culture became a thing first time round, yeah, nowhere near the same.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's just more fashion and music, I feel now with the casuals these days.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I think.
Well, that's it. That's all I wanted to ask. So thank you very much.